Distribution of charges on a conductor. From this animation, we can come to a conclusion about the distribution of charges on a conductor. Sigma r is equal to a constant. Sigma represents surface charge density. R is radius of curvature. From this equation, we can rewrite sigma is equal to constant divided by r. Or sigma is inversely proportional to r. From the above equation, we can infer that the surface charge density is inversely proportional to the radius of curvature. This is clearly explained in the diagram. In the diagram, A, B, C are the different positions having different radius of curvatures. At the point A, the radius of curvature is very high and hence the accumulation of the charge is very small. But at the point B and C, the radius of curvature is very small and hence the accumulation of the charges is very high. Thus, we can conclude that the charges accumulate to a maximum at the pointed end. Lightning conductor. Lightning conductor is a simple device used to protect the tall buildings from lightning. A lightning conductor consists of a long, thick copper rod. This rod is passing through the building. The lower end of the copper rod is connected to a copper plate. This copper plate is buried deep inside the ground. The upper end of the copper rod is connected to a copper plate which has got number of spikes. The upper end is kept at the top of the building. Now, we shall see the working of the lightning conductor. When a negatively charged cloud passes over the building, due to the action of points, the positive charge of high potential is induced on the spikes of the lightning conductor. Due to the high positive potential of the lightning conductor, the air gets ionized near the conductor. Therefore, the negative charges in the air comes towards the lightning conductor and the positive charges repel towards the clouds and neutralizes it. The negative charges are attracted towards the conductor and it travels down to the earth. Therefore, the building is prevented from the damage of lightning. Van de Graaff generator. A Van de Graaff generator works on the principle of electrostatic induction and action of points. This animation describes about the parts of the Van de Graaff generator and the working principle of Van de Graaff generator. Description of the parts of Van de Graaff generator. A Van de Graaff generator consists of a hollow metallic sphere A. The sphere is mounted on an insulating pillar. B and C are the two fixed pulleys. A belt made up of silk is moved over the two pulleys B and C. D and E are the two fixed combs. D is connected to a battery of 10 power 4 volts. The other end of the battery is connected to the ground. The pulley is continuously rotated by means of an electric motor. The upper comb E is connected to the inner side of the hollow sphere A. Working of the Van de Graaff generator. The comb D is connected to the battery of a high potential. The high potential from the battery ionizes the air near the comb D. That is, the air molecules are separated into electrons and positive ions. The electrons are attracted towards the comb E, and the positive charges are repelled towards the belt and stick on it. While the belt moves upwards, due to electrostatic induction, the comb E acquires a negative charge and the sphere acquires a positive charge. Due to a high negative potential on E, the air gets ionized. The positive ions are attracted towards the comb E and the negative charges are repelled towards the belt and neutralizes the positive charges on the belt. Therefore, while the belt comes downwards, it has no charge. Therefore, each and every time the positive charge on the sphere will goes on increasing till it attains a limiting value. After this stage, no more charge can be placed on the sphere. It starts leaking to the surrounding due to ionization of the air. The leakage of charge from the sphere can be reduced by enclosing it in a gas filled with steel chamber at a very high pressure. The high voltage produced in this generator can be used to accelerate positive ions, that is, protons and neutrons, for the purpose of nuclear disintegration.